Hi, this is Danielle with Rallybound, and this video is going to cover champion campaigns from the perspective of an administrator. Now, first, by definition, champion campaigns are campaigns that fundraisers are able to create on their own. They're coined champions because they go above and beyond, and they do things and fundraising activities that a normal fundraiser wouldn't do, like have their own event, maybe host their own 5K locally in their neighborhood or in their town. And so over the years, we've routinely received questions about how we can support those fundraisers that want to go above and beyond. And now we've developed that functionality and we've coined it champion campaigns. Now, there's another video that will walk you through the point of view of a fundraiser who's actually creating their own champion campaign, but this is from an admin who's going to be setting it up. Now, the first thing that I think is really important that we look at is permissions. So I'm going to go to the permissions area. Administrators can be found up at the very top where it says administrators. This is going to have a list of all of the admins that currently are associated with an organization, but specifically what you want to look at is the security role for champion, which is going to be those super fundraisers. Now you can set up for a champion fundraiser to have access to all of the same areas of the back end of the campaign admin, which is the blue screen, as any other admin, but you can also limit it. So if you look down, you can see all of those same tabs that currently exist when you're creating permissions, and you can choose to modify this at your discretion. Now, areas that you might want to put the most amount of attention on are going to be the transactions, whether or not they're actually going to be able to issue their own refund or edit donation amounts. You're going to want to look at the registrations, whether or not they can look at the different types of people that are associated with the account, if they can merge records, or if they can log in as another fundraiser. You might also want to look at whether they can send emails from the campaign. They can modify the autoresponders, create their own custom autoresponders, update the header and the footer. Many of these permissions you might want to scale down and only give them what is really necessary, the things that they really truly need to make their campaign effective. That might be setting up their own registration fields. It could be creating their own tickets, issuing refunds if they're going to be the admin, and sending out emails. But that's really at your discretion. So I would recommend one of the first steps that you do as you come through and you look at this is to go through all of the permissions associated with that role and modify that based off of what you think would be the best fit for your champion fundraisers as well as your organization. And once you do that, then you're going to want to hit save, and all of those permissions that you have already identified are going to be saved for the champion fundraiser. Now let's go back to the campaigns. Here you can see a folder that says champion templates and all champion campaigns, and then champion campaign creator. And this is very confusing, so stick with me. We also have written documentation to walk you through this. But this champion campaign creator is going to be the campaign in which the fundraiser can actually create their own champion campaign. So here I'm going to go to the front end in the website. I am Danny Super Fundraiser, so I'm actually going to make that my name. Quickly register, and once I do, I will be taken to my fundraiser dashboard where I will see the ability to create a champion campaign that's down here on the right hand side. When I create my champion campaign, I'll be able to enter in these parameters, but the next stage is going to be different templates that are going to appear that you're going to want to set up. Now, in this demo instance, we've created folders for the champion template. You don't have to create folders if you don't want to. It's completely up to you. When we turn this on, we're going to configure this with a template type, which you can then replicate and you can make updates and changes. For this example, we made spring, summer, autumn, and winter, with the idea that maybe each of these champion fundraisers want to do something different based off of the season. Another common example that you could create for the templates would be sell tickets or have registration, because that's really what they would be doing. But here within this template type, you as an administrator would be able to go and add in default items for the campaign, such as the images. You might want to set up default email responders that would go out, maybe default registration fields. For example, if there is a designation that you ask any donor or registrant that's associated with your campaign, such as how am I affiliated with X nonprofit, you might want to add that so that way by default anybody who's creating a registration form would have to ask that question, and you can add those example questions here in registration fields. All of the settings that you set up for spring races in this example will be applied to this template type. And so when I, as a champion fundraiser, choose to create my campaign, Spring Race Super Fundraiser, my goal is going to be an ambitious $5,000, and this will be held on, I want to say that's the last day of spring in fabulous El Segundo, California. When I click next, this is where I would see that template type with all of those settings that the admin had set up. When you go back and you set this up, you might want to set one up that allows you to sell tickets. And so here in the back end of summer travel, just as an example, I have set up some sample tickets. Now, it's up to you whether or not that champion fundraiser has permissions to edit these tickets, because maybe these are going to be all of the tickets that they sell, packages being sold for your organization, being sold by other people within your organization, and you don't want them to be able to modify this cost. But if you want them to sell their own tickets and create those, then you can give them the ability to edit the ticket portion of the site. What's really great about tickets that we receive a lot of questions about is whether or not you can add in a tax deductible amount. And absolutely, you can do that for any of the ticket purchases that you have. And if you give the champion fundraiser the ability to set that up, they can do that as well. Now, once you have all of your templates that are added in the back end, in order for them all to appear on this pop-up here, you're going to have to let us know, send a request to helpdesk@rallybound.com. If you're still in onboarding, you can talk to the project manager that is helping you with that, and then we'll have to run a script to make all of these campaigns appear in the pop-up. At one point we hope to have that automated. Right now there's an extra manual step, but don't worry, it can still be done, and once you set up the template, they can appear for your champion fundraisers to select. Now, once I've created a champion campaign, and I'll actually go through that final step, and I'm just going to select Spring Races, Create, and I'm obviously selecting spring and summer. I feel like I've done that in all of my demos. It's because it's winter right now, and so I'm missing the sun, and so all of my demos are with spring and summer. I just thought to myself, I should have picked a winter, but oh well, spring it is. So here, now that I've created my page, I have my own spring race super fundraiser. And so when I visit this page, I did so by clicking on the link. It's going to have its own unique URL that you can see. So although it's its own unique URL, any activity that takes place on this page is going to appear on the personal fundraisers page, on Danny's Super Fundraiser, and then it will ultimately roll up onto this champion creator account. Now that campaign that I just created is going to appear in this folder that says all champion campaigns. So as an admin, if I wanted to look at that, I would have to refresh my screen. But once I do, I will see the Spring Race Super Fundraiser. And even though the champion fundraiser is going to be managing the activity, you as the admin over the organization can still come in and look at the activity yourself. So that is the champion campaigns from the perspective of an admin in a nutshell. It is complicated. I know I've already said that before, but there's lots of different steps and pieces. The best way to get acquainted is to start playing with it, review our documentation, and of course ask questions, because we are here to help you succeed and figure out how you can fundraise in the most effective way possible. With that, I hope you have a wonderful day.